for word.
Song for song, word for word. Which Hove album do I know the best? It's gotta be Blueprint. It's gotta be Blueprint. Black Album. Blueprint 2 is real sneaky, man, because that's 02. I know it's a double disc, and I know people don't like Blueprint 2, man, but like The Watcher 2 was one of my favorite Hove verses.
That's an elite. That's
You
an
know what I
elite
mean?
whole verse right there.
The song Blueprint.
You know who I felt like? You know who I felt like he was talking about?
Who?
Murder Inc. and Ja Rule. Doing all sorts of twisted shit with your fingers, blam. Like I feel like he was talking about Murder Inc. around that time.
That makes sense, man.
Mm-hmm.
It just ain't the same for gangsters. But I'm a little too famous to shoot
these
pranksters.
pranksters.
Hey, man, he was snapping on that, man. He was snapping on that shit. I would say those for sure. You probably throw in American Gangster, man. When American Gangster came out, I listened to that religiously. Like I was on AG before it became, because if people remember when American Gangster came out, it wasn't well received. Like I'm not saying people disliked it. I'm not saying it like that, but it grew into something else. It kind of had to reverse the album. Yeah, the album.
Gotcha.
It kind of had the reverse effect of Blueprint 3. So when Blueprint 3 came out, everybody loved it right away. And over time, you're like, that's kind of at the bottom of the discography. When American Gangster came out, especially right after Kingdom Come, I remember people saying it's cool, but it ain't all that. And then over time, it's like, oh, this might be top 5, top 4 Hove album. Yeah. So it started really cracking that conversation, and I think it took time. And I miss those days when you could just sit with albums and just really have time to really kind of go with them and things like that. Because, but like I said, man, he was just in the zone when it came to Blueprint. Like I said, that never changed, man. Like nigga, streets robbed me, wasn't educated properly. Fuck y'all, I needed money for Atari.
Atari was so young.
My big sis still playing with Barbie.
Oh,
that's brother, Big City, 8 million stories. Then that
I would say mine is.
Hold on, man. I gotta say this because that sequence right after that is so crazy. Old heads taught me, youngin, walk soft, carry your big clip.
That'll keep niggas off me. Keep coffee, keep money smelling
mothy. Chains is cool
money
to
is
cop,
cool to
but
cop,
more
better
important
than
is
loyalties.
Like
what it is now. That's what it always be.
I never changed. This is always me. Like,
hey,
what's
that
yours?
Shit like
yours?
Gospel. That shit right there is like gospel, nigga. When somebody starts
you can raise a kid. You can raise the youth.
You gotta join in on it. Mine would be not to have the same answer as you. Blueprint would be 2. Dynasty would be number 1 for me. Like from the intro to fucking my high school quote. Yeah, Squeeze first. My high school quote was this KB Life, the hook. Fucking beans on
Streets is talking.
He kept rapping till the beat went off, but they talking now. They got me doubling. I'm parking now.
Hey, now when he hit that, you forever rest under bullshit, dirt, lives, and leave. I do bullshit, dirt, tell lies, and leave.
Then the beat go off. Beans was cold, man. Paradise, they man, pathetic pies and a couple of things. That motherfucker, that shit was killing.
And you could tell that was a real lie. Go ahead, my bad.
Like he did that like then.
He was upset at himself because he wanted to keep going. He really fucked up.
Yeah, he wanted to keep. Yeah, he fucked up.
Yeah, you can tell.
You can hear the microphone, the headphones get ripped off. I think Bleak best verse ever is on there.
You, me, him, and her.
Yeah, with him and Snoop.
Yeah.
No.
You talking about Get Your Mind Right?
Get your mind right, mommy. You got to be free. You're now rolling with the thugs from the ROC. Ain't no place on the planet that you'd rather be. But that Snoop killed that. Even the fucking Emil song, Mo Better, Mo Cheddar, knock the man off the polo sweater.
Beans ripped that too, bro.
Oh my god, went insane. And then this came. Oh my god. So Dynasty for me, then Blueprint, then probably Volume 1 or Reasonable Doubt.
Reasonable Doubt just still so complex. I feel like as many times as I listen to Reasonable Doubt, I'm still catching
gems. Hearing new shit. That's a fact.
And I feel like we talked about this before. Volume 1, while I don't consider it like it's got a couple misses, like I Know What Girls Like and some other things. I promise that album probably got like 3 or 4 of my top 10 Hove songs.
Yeah. For me, You Must
it's
Love
crazy.
Me.
You Must Love Me.
Imaginary Players on that.
Imaginary Players is that on there. Streets is watching, and I'll tell you what.
And
because one day we got to do this. Maybe I'll just throw the oop to on deck to y'all can go ahead and complete this as a task. We really got to start having a conversation about Hove intros and how that medley from Volume 1 is really up there. I know people like to bring up the Dynasty intro. I know people like to bring up the Kingdom Come intro. I know people like to bring up Volume 3, so on and so forth. But that medley intro, $1,000,001 questions. Like, come on, man. Like that. He and the beat.
I got to revisit that because I'm sleep. I ain't gonna lie. I'm kind of sleep on it.
Nah, I don't know if I really cold, man.
I gotta go. I gotta go back on that.
Hold on, that nigga Beans was on. That nigga Beans was on You, Me, Him, and Her, and said, "Nigga, you want drama? What will silence it up? Since a young buck, violence fuck wasn't me, dog. The how would do it. I used to wild off and bomb and send niggas to the trauma unit. 45 or the 9 to do it. I fuck around and have your mom go through it. I'm a beast. Hey, come on, that nigga used to spit.
That nigga was different, man. Beans was different. I know why those niggas was that excited to have him around.
Ain't it crazy? Man. It's funny, man. Ain't it crazy how you have somebody like Beans who legitimately had a claim of being the top 5 rapper at the time in that era. And if you miss that era, you just will never understand it. Like there's a whole generation of kids who are 16 to 24
that listen to hip hop, that are hip hop.
Listen to hip hop and with Beanie, what? That's like their version of listening to Cool in the Gang. Or something like that. You know what I mean? Back in the day, or listening to Rappers Delight. I said a hip hop, a hip. Like it's like, man, what the fuck is this? It's evolved so much that you really don't appreciate it. Even though that type of rap is dope, but I don't know if we have anybody introducing. My whole point is how you can really be. There's not a lot of people who are really transcendent, like who is really gonna carry over. I think about movies, right? Like there's not. The Godfather came out in the 70s, both of them, 1 and 2, right? It's one of the few movies that's that old that everybody kind of generationally knows how to watch. If it's not a holiday movie, just like one of those rites of passage. There's a 16-year-old right now watching Scarface for the first time, watching Godfather for the first time. And think about all the movies that have been made. There's this movies that once a certain generation is gone, they just never gonna get watched again. Never discussed. Like just how hard it is to be like a legitimately timeless. Like I've made something so good that this is timeless. Like it's gonna live on forever.
Do you think kids watch Boys in the Hood? Like, is that being passed down?
Not unless they parents.
Menace, New Jack City, like 16-year-old right now, they watching any of that shit?
A lot of them probably wouldn't even know what it is. On the real.
Damn, that's crazy. We really lived in a more so now. We appreciate it more, I think, a lot. Like we really lived in a you had to be there generation. Yeah, like we lived in a generation where like right now you had to be. I can't even explain it to you. It's like with the shit we just seen with Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, like the kids making the jokes or whatever, but like people our age and older, it's like, nah, bro, you don't understand like what Mike Tyson was, bro. Like I can't even explain it to you. You'll never get it. It's like you were saying with Beans, fucking off our conversation last week, the Cosby Show. Like you don't understand what it like Thursday night, bro. Everybody in America was right here watching this. Niggas wasn't streaming it later, like Martin. Like nigga, that Thursday it came on Friday at school. Nigga, I still remember. I still remember that next Friday at school after the Martin came on with your man's was singing. He fixed the car. Don't you know no good?
Don't you know no good?
He was singing the song. Don't you know? I still remember the next day in school, and like everybody was talking about that singing that song and shit. Like that shit is gone now.
It's crazy, man, and you kind of miss it. I know it's part of nostalgia, and nostalgia is kind of a scary thing, but you really do miss it, man. You miss what times were simple, where man, if you missed it, you just missed it. You got to catch on the rebound. I remember even to this point, Spike. I'll never forget. There was a Monday night football game. This might have been 02, 03. It was 01, somewhere around that era. It was Indianapolis Colts at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Somebody can look this up. The Colts were up crazy. I forget. I think it was the Colts up on the Bucs or the Bucs were up on the Colts. They were up crazy with like a little bit of time left. And remember, this is in the era of newspapers. So since it being a Monday night game, newspapers had to go to print at a certain time, which means your story had to either be done or it wasn't going. So it was running late as far as the actual game. They went ahead and printed the story with the Colts winning because they was up like 2 touchdowns, like a 3 minutes left. That guy was a wrap. I'll never forget. The Bucks came out. They came back, won the game, and then there's still newspapers all over the city that show that they lost. Yeah, and stuff like that, man. And just think about being a bookie. Shout out to Jay Leno. Think about being a bookie or being somebody that gambled on the game. And then you think like you lost, and then you look again because there were no cell phones. Like if you weren't by TV, you had to find out. Like you had no access. Like there was no pressure or anxiety of having a cell phone where people are readily having contact with you. They can text you when they want to. They can call you when they want to, and you're there and feel the obligation to respond. Some people do. Not everybody feels that way. But literally, it was, nigga, when I get home, I'll check my messages.
Right.
Like that's what it is.
Nigga, and like it wasn't no like you couldn't just like you said you'll call somebody crib and they ain't there, nigga. They just not there. It ain't no like unless you had a beeper or something. We had beepers, but that's still like you got to wait on them to call you back. It just lets you know that I'm looking for you.
You could be going for I don't know how long. I never forget because my sister, man, shout out to Big Sis. We had 9-year age gap, and I never forget asking her. She went down to FAMU for school, Florida A&M, and I remember asking her what they her and her husband. I was like, hey, like this gonna sound like a silly question, but how'd y'all know where to link in college? Like, how'd y'all know like we meet? Did y'all have designated spots where we gonna meet here at this time? Did y'all call each other dorm rooms? Because wasn't no texting or saying like it was just one of those things you don't think about.
Yeah. That is
we don't have to think about, man. But yeah, good old days, man. Trip down memory lane.
With that being said, you had to be there for Beans. That's what all of that to say.
Yes.
Beans was one of those, like he was one of those niggas you had to be there for. And I thought this not too long ago when I was listening to Once Again the song. Like it's just like ain't nobody really doing that with Hove like he did it on Once Again the song. Like, it's probably 2 or 3 people that can do that with him.
Nah, that's real. And it's crazy because I remember when Beans went on Tax's podcast and he told the story about that. And he said, like, Hove did a verse and he had to come back. He said he heard Beans' last verse and was like, all right, man, I'm gonna come back tomorrow. He said he came back and with Biggie's chain. Like he got Biggie's Jesus piece. And he said he only put that on when he was really trying to black out. And Beans was just like, man, I was just happy I took him to that place. Like I put that pressure on him to like, take him to that place where he had to, he dimmed the lights in the studio, put the cap all the way down. Cap all the way in. Yeah, man, I got to dial all the way in. And, he did what needed to be done. But, shout out to that era, man. Shout out to Beans. Hopefully we all can do a better job of keeping, I always say, man, it's our job to keep people's names alive, and make sure that we give people credit where they do, especially people as influential in our upbringing and childhood. But with that being said, let's jump back to the present. We are here with another week in the books, Book 2, Chapter 12, simply titled Thankful. It's the week before Thanksgiving. Spike Lee and myself figured it would be a good time to just take some time to acknowledge 2024. I know the year's not all the way over yet, but Thanksgiving will be coming next week. And we just want to kind of acknowledge what we're thankful for this year, personal, professionally, whatever the case may be. So we'll spend some time doing that. Want to give a shout out to Portia for being a guest on Chapter 11, man. Got a lot of good feedback from that episode. And it's funny because I had no idea, and I'm not going to say like the episode was like ultra racy or edgy or anything like that. But, we're conditioned now in a society to where if you talk your shit and speak your truth, man, there's always going to be somebody. And I think that's what's annoying. There's always somebody that got to voice their opinion that ain't solicited, and kind of say, well, I agree, and I'm cool with, if you read the description, we even put in, like, we understand that not everybody might agree. Let's open the door to the conversation. You know what I mean? I think that's how life should be approached. It shouldn't be like, I disagree with what they say. We out, but we did keep it a buck, man, and I'm proud of that. Shout out to Portia, man. I gave the backstory on her. As far as her having experience in this podcast space, and you can really tell when you listen
Big
to
shout
her.
Out. So, absolutely, man.
Absolutely, man.
We're going to have fit in like a glove, bro.
Yeah, man. We're going to have her back for sure, without question. We got to have her back for some more conversations. Yeah, and shout out to Ray P, man. It would have been great to have her in the building, too. Saw Ray P this past weekend. She was in town for a wedding, or in Akron for a wedding. Akron and Cleveland about 40 minutes apart. So I slid down. A bunch of people from college were there. Got to see some people I ain't seen in a while. But always a pleasure to link up with Ray P, man. She hell of a time, man. It was a crazy ass night. Crazy ass night, man. It's so much odd shit happened. Man. Yeah, man. But Spike Lou.
And shout out to Portia too, though. I didn't get to say shout out to Portia, man. She was sounding like the third member of Another Week in the Books at times. She was sounding like she just fit right in. So that was pretty dope.
Especially for y'all, for sure, man. Especially with y'all having never met or had any conversation. You never know how that's gonna go. But she's a natural conversationalist, and very naturally 10 toes down on her beliefs. And you're not gonna budge her off those beliefs. You can't sell her bullshit. We know the prices. If we continue with the whole quotes. So yeah, man. Looking forward to having her back on, man. I'm sure it's gonna be sooner rather than later. I'm sure we'll cook up some kind of topic where it's going to need an opinion. We'll bring her back in. But thank y'all, everybody out there who gave feedback. I got some personal text messages just talking about the episode and people enjoying it. So that's dope. But Spike Lou, man, how you feeling? How you feeling this week, man? It's we creeping up on your birthday, man. We 5 days away. At the time of recording, we're 5 days away from your birthday, November 26th. About to be a year older, man. How are you feeling? How'd your week go? The whole nine.
Week was solid, man. I didn't get to think about what I was bringing in to be proud of for this week, so I got to get that some more thought. One thing I do, like I said when we were talking about this last week, it makes you a lot more deliberate in your week when you know you need to come in here and say something that you're proud of.
Yeah.
For me, it makes me a lot more deliberate in what I'm doing and how I'm processing stuff. So I'm just now thinking about it now, and I'm mad that I didn't put a focus on that this week like I needed to, because I really appreciate that. But I'm good, man. Birthday coming up. I'm gonna go see the fam. Probably Thanksgiving this Thursday. I might go holler at the fam too. Well, I am going to holler at the fam. Probably head up there my birthday night to get to see my people and stuff. So I look forward to that.
What's your birthday look like? Like what is this birthday look like? You Spike? You low key? You just chilling?
Yeah.
I'm celebrating.
I'm low key. I know I'm not gonna do it. It's gonna be a normal day for me on my actual birthday. I'm not gonna do anything different. I think I got to record that night, so I'm gonna keep it as is there. But the next day, I'm off for the holidays, and again, I'm headed home. So we might go out, eat with the fam, friends, and stuff like that. Make the rounds in the city when I get back home, and just holler at people and pull up.
Your face gonna be on the club flyer. Gonna kick it
with Spike Lou. Spike Lou night, free before 10.
Right.
We ain't doing it like that. I may pull up at my homie and I told you about the bar in Nashville, Makeshift.
Tequila bar.
TK, yes, sir. And just eat. I don't like to do. I ain't a big birthday person. Like, it ain't a big deal to me. Like, maybe when I turn 50 or something, I'll do something like extravagant or something like that. But I don't, like, year to year, and I don't know if that's a man thing or a me thing, but I ain't a real big, like, go all out for your birthday person. Are you?
Not go all out, man. I don't need much. It's funny because I got a lot of friends from college, or a group of us from college, and recently they started. It's a mixer of women and men, and recently I think it's 8 of us total. They started this birthday thing. It's like birthday when it's our birthdays. Everybody contributes some cash. The person whose birthday it is, they can decide if they want the cash. They can decide if they want a gift. And kind of everybody chips in on it. Kind of birthday activities. Yeah, I've been trying. I want to do it with my family too, because I got a big family with cousins, and I think that'd just be a cool idea, man. If you want to contribute, that's cool. If you don't, you don't. But you can't obviously receive it. But if everybody, as many cousins we got, man, everybody say, man, $50 for whoever birthday. That way, every time somebody get a birthday, they just get the bread, do what they want to with it. We went out for like a dinner for a couple weeks ago for one of the birthdays, and I was thinking to myself, like, I'm not doing this. I'm not a big fan of large dinners anyway.
Yeah, that's terrible.
I'm not a fan of that. Like 4, maybe 6 at max, but really 4 is the ideal number.
When you get up to 8, 12 and the bill come and it's some type of discrepancies and I got to send you this, like, nah, bro.
It can become too much. And unless we have like a private room, like, so there's a spot at the private room, doors closed, you can kind of be in your shit. And like another thing with large parties, not that it really matters, but also all eyes are on you in a restaurant if you got the biggest table there. Everybody's you know what I'm saying, because you're gonna be kikiing, you're gonna be doing your thing, and people just gonna be looking or just trying to figure out who y'all are and all this other stuff. I'm like, turn around, eat your food. But that's just me being an attention off me person. I'm not big on that kind of attention, so I don't need that. I do like to celebrate. I like to make it a point to do something for myself. All right, don't got to be nothing
you
big.
Say something, let's just like have a good dinner, a nice steak or something.
Yeah,
like,
even if it's by myself, man, just have a good dinner. If I feel like doing something, like something I've always wanted to do, I just make time to do it, and kind of go from there. But I'm not the plan the birthday events or here's the itinerary. Friday we doing this, Saturday I'm just not that person. It's not that deep. I do appreciate the love. If people ever reach out and say, hey man, I want let's go out for a drink. Cool, I'm down with that.
I'm gonna make it a point to have a nice cigar. I think I want that to be one of my birthday traditions because I'm a cigar fan. So yeah, so I'm gonna make it a point to have me a nice cigar on my birthday sometime this week.
Yeah,
do you made me think of something when you said that. Do you in like let's say school or your close friends, male friends, or any friends, like do y'all exchange gifts for birthdays and Christmas?
No.
Okay.
Nah, man. It's rare. No, my friends don't. Let's say, all right, so Phil, I probably will with Phil. Like me and Phil have done that before, but it's nothing like crazy because Phil, like back when I was in the city, like Christmas Day, he'd be on some like their house might be the host house or something. So I might hit me up in the morning, like if you ain't doing nothing, bro, we got breakfast over here, some of the fam over here, because I know his family. So pull up and stuff like that, and he might like have a bottle of wine or a bottle, and I just bring something for them. Something like that, nothing too crazy. And he got kids, so I'll ask him like, the girls need anything like that. But it's not I don't think there's
anybody else. I wonder why we do that as men, though. Like I think women do that though, right? Like women do like friends. They gonna buy their friends Christmas gift. Men, we don't like. I'm not doing.
Yeah,
that.
The gift is I got this ounce and I got this bottle. I'm about to come through. Let's kick it.
Right.
Yeah, man. That's it. It ain't. I don't know. That's a great question. I never thought about that. Why
you don't even think about that as men. Like you don't be thinking like I know I've had some of my friends. We've been friends for like I've said on here 30, damn near 25, 30 years, and I don't think I've ever gotten like a gift. Like gotten them a gift. Like I don't think we've ever done that. Shit like that.
Yeah, me and school have exchanged gifts. I mean, that's fam, so that's happened before. But I don't know, man. It goes into that whole. I don't know how to pinpoint it or what would it be called, but it goes into this male thought process that we have. I'm good. I'm good, and I think I told this story whether it was on here or another podcast. I never forget. I got a homegirl who was telling me about a friend she met. Like she went to a bar. She met this girl at the bar. They ended up exchanging numbers. And I remember talking to her that day. I'm like, what you about to do? Oh, yeah, I'm about to go to dinner with this girl I met at the bar. I said, huh? And that was so weird. And just the whole conversation, I never forget her asking me, like, you mean to tell me if you was at a bar and, a guy was just there, y'all both like sports or the same team, and he was like, hey, man, we should be friends. Of course. I said, that would be the weirdest shit ever to me. Like, I'm not, and I don't know why. I don't know why that's the case. Like, you know what I mean? But that would just be very odd to me. I would think that would be extremely odd. Like, what do you mean you want to be friends?
I agree with that. However, it's happened to me before. But to your point, the friendship never like I'll never call you. Never call or like it's not men. I think we need something different for it to be like a friendship. For you to actually be consistent and follow up. Like it can't just be we met. It's cool. Hey man, take my number down. Give me a yell. Like I'm not doing that, bro. I ain't gonna be like mean about it. Yeah, I ain't gonna be mean. Like nigga, I don't want your number, but I'm not. Yeah.
I've told people, you run into that person from high school, you run into them at the grocery store. Oh man, how you been? Man, we should. Hey man, I've told people. I've listen. I've had to stop niggas. Hey man, we ain't even got to do all that because there's way too much social media and shit now, man. I'll hit you. I'll see how your life going, man. You good, man? I'll comment on your photo or something like that. We ain't got to do the phone exchange thing because I'm not. No, that's not me. Unless I really, everybody I fuck with, I talk to.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard like reconnecting with niggas. Like just I know just recently when I went to Nashville, it was a homie that I hadn't talked to. I told the story about her here. I hadn't talked to him in a minute. And we'll text every now and then now since we reconnected, but it still ain't like it's like about football or shit like that. It's just so it's weird for men, I feel like.
Yeah, man. That's part of That's part of one of the things I'm thankful for, and we'll talk about it more when we get there when it comes to that. So we'll circle back to that conversation. But before we actually get to that part, we got to figure out what's going on in the zeitgeist. We got to figure out what's been going on, man. So Spike Lou, you sent me something and said you wanted to discuss it. I want to bring it up. I want to bring up two things. I want to bring up the actual video and what happens. This is involving T.I. as he was spending time in Austin, Texas. Yeah, I'm gonna. Sure, I'll play it. It's only a minute and some change. It's only a minute and some change, so I'll play it. But I also, after I play it, I want to address the caption for the actual video.
Right?
No, the one that the person that this Twitter thread, Big Malcolm, I want to post a caption and I want to have a conversation about that. Obviously, we'll put it in your court since you brought it to us, but I think it's very interesting because I've been seeing a lot of the same rhetoric. So let me go ahead and play this now.
Tonight, y'all, I'm right here in Austin, Texas. I'm in Austin, Texas on what it is? What is 6th Street? East 6th Street. On East 6th Street at a place called Revelry. Rainy? Okay, Rainy Street, place called Revelry. There's a sucker up here at the front. There's a sucker right here at the front. This sucker nigga right here talking about I need some ID to get in somewhere. Don't worry about it. This sucker right here talking about I need some ID to get in somewhere. Any nigga with some shoes like that ain't gonna keep me out of nowhere, man. Shoes. Walmart Versace shirt where we do got Ross pants. And here, but what's your nipple hard for, man? What your nipple hard for, man? What got what is that velvet? What is that velvet? Appreciate you too, buddy. We on him right now, though. But look at that shoe. Who gave you that shoe, boy? Your grandma put them up in a birthday card. Was for $5, $6 in it. I'm sorry. Pardon me, man. All right. Back to your whole business. Yeah, man. So if y'all in Austin, just make sure you don't come to Revelry. That's all. Y'all be cool, man. Come.
That's pretty much the long and short of it, man. Let me read this caption from the actual whoever sent this. It's not T.I.'s caption. This is just whoever shared this on Twitter. Money doesn't unlame a lame. Context. Hard-working black man wakes up every day to go to his job as a bouncer/doorman. His job's policy is an ID is required for all who enter. Lame millionaire decides to insult the 9-to-5er for doing his job. So, Spike Lou, I want to throw the ball in your court. Before I do, I know that Twitter thing said context. We do not have full context. We have no idea, at least unless there's something else floating out there, have no idea what led to T.I. needing to grab his phone to record and dog this man. I don't know if the dude was super extra. I don't know if it was T.I. overreacting. But whatever led up to that, we don't know exactly what happened. So I want to make sure we're very clear about that as we're giving our comments. Spike Lou, you sent this to me. You said you wanted to discuss it. What were your first thoughts when you saw this video?
People that follow me know I love T.I. I have a bias. T.I. may be my favorite rapper ever. This was lame, though. I don't agree with the Twitter dude, but
right.
I ain't going that far because we don't know what happened or the context of it. But it takes so much for me to get to a place where I feel like I would have to do that.
Yeah.
And I look at T.I. under like a similar cloth that I'm cut from. Like I hear his music. I seen him when he first came out. I followed the man's career. I feel like I got a good inkling for who T.I. is. And I can relate to that person. The person that was doing this video right here, I couldn't relate to. Because I couldn't see myself doing that. I couldn't see myself going through that much to get in a fucking lounge in Austin, Texas. Now, a couple of things here that stood out to me. One was a sense of like, nigga, you got ID somewhere, bro. You in Austin, like you're traveling. Like that you have ID somewhere. So that's one. Two, I could understand the frustration of you going somewhere and you're TI, and this is a young black man who should know who you are, and trying to tell you that I get that. That makes perfect sense. But my retort to that, as TI is not going to be, I'm going to roast him on my IG. So I just don't think that it was handled in the proper way, because nigga like me, what I'm going to do is like, okay, whose company is this? Who you work for? Who is the nigga that told you everybody had to have ID? Get them out here and get them on the phone so I can talk to them. And I can let them know TI outside and you out here bullshitting, don't want to let me in because of a policy that they said. Let me talk to that person. I don't even got no more words for this dude after he tell me I can't get in and I need an ID. Because I get the sentiment that TI is coming from, and like, nigga, you know who the fuck I am. You trying to be petty right now. But that's okay. You can be petty. When I'm a nigga like TI, I'm not meeting petty with, I don't do petty with niggas that's beneath me. Like there's no, I ain't doing petty with a nigga that's beneath me. I'm doing petty with niggas that's above or on the same level with me. That way I know it's a even playing field. But I'm not doing petty with the nigga out there in brunch boots and the tight Walmart Versace shirt on. I ain't doing petty with him. It's not worth my time. My wife right here. I hear Tiny in the background. I probably got my homie shit. Like, I'm not even finna get into this whole thing with you unless he just doubling down on the comedian thing and trying to make a funny, hoping this go viral. Then I somewhat would be forgiving of it, but it's lame. It's lame. I thought this would be funnier than it was. Dude was a good sport about it, but at the end of the day, the right answer to this is where your boss at, bro. Like, you got to pull a Karen. Like, where's your manager? Like, who is the nigga that you work for? Get them out here and let them tell me. Because then when that person could get the person out here that you work for to come tell me that you ain't letting TI in because he ain't got no ID. Now we finna go ham. Now this the nigga that's finna get all the smoke, not the nigga that's standing out there working a 9 to 5. I want the nigga that told you everybody had to have an ID to come out here and get them on the phone and let him tell me no. Then we can go from there. But I ain't going to this extent with that nigga.
Listen, I have no idea, nor do I want to think about what it would take for me to respond in this manner. Like, I don't even want to know what somebody would have to do for me to grab my phone and feel the need to record them and dog them because I couldn't get in. There's a couple interesting factors here when I look at this video, right? I can't remember who it was or what podcast it was a few months back. It might have been the Joy Taylor. I think Taylor Rooks and Joy Taylor, they have a podcast. Shout out to Taylor Rooks, man. But I think they were talking about pretty privilege. I think Joy was talking about pretty privilege, and it made its rounds around the internet. I do believe that there is something called celebrity privilege. I think there's something called wealth privilege, to where you can move a certain way and do things a little bit differently than other people because of who you are. I think that when you are a celebrity, you've been a celebrity for so long, it's jarring to you when that privilege does not work and you don't even know how to respond to it. It's almost like a child throwing a temper tantrum because you've never been told no, and now finally somebody's telling you no. You can tell T.I. hasn't been in that situation in a long time, and I think it's a little bit of an ego hit to some degree, right? Because I'm T.I. What the fuck you mean you don't know who I am? Like, Google me. That's my ID. Literally Google this name and you will see my face, and you will see it over and over and over again. That should be good enough ID, right? Like you said, Spike, I'm not talking to you like, nigga, there's plenty of rap lyrics that talk about, nigga, bring me your boss, nigga. I don't talk to workers. Yeah, you know what I mean? All due respect to dude, man. I hear what you're saying, but this is a different situation, right? Because I am T.I. So I want the person, your boss, to come out here, because I guarantee, or maybe not guarantee, but I'm pretty sure if your boss see who it is, they're going to let me in. Because at the end of the day, this is an establishment who cares about making money, and I have a lot of money that I'm trying to spend here. You know what I mean? So it's a business decision. We see that happen all the time. Celebrity goes to a restaurant, there ain't no tables. We booked up for the next 3 months. They find a table for that.
Make room. We can make room.
Make room. It happens. I get the privilege part of it, but you can also tell that T.I. hadn't been through that in a second. I immediately thought, we started talking about the peppermint patty and Walmart Versace. I'm like, T.I. is trying to hone in on the comedian thing. I think he is trying to really emphasize, because and listen, to his credit, if this was 2004 and not 2024, dude would have got smacked. T.I. would have smacked him. And if you weren't outside, to our beginning conversation about being outside when Beans was around, if you wasn't around for 21, 22, when the T.I. versus T.I., that was TIP would have came out.
Yeah, sure.
And it really would have escalated. He was a hothead. Yeah, it would have been ugly for dude because he would have been 30 deep. Like, it would have been a whole different situation. So I think he's trying to lean into, all right, now I'm this person and I'm gonna try to be funny. But all of that just to say, listen, I'm at the same, I'm T.I., bro. All right, peace, man. Y'all want me cool? I'll go to the next spot. I'll go to the next spot.
That part
it
right
there. That deep to me. Like,
yeah,
I'll
like,
go
I don't
to the
even
next
really
spot.
give a fuck, bro. Yeah, like, it ain't like y'all ain't paying me to be here. I'm gonna spend good money, and I don't give a fuck if y'all really let me in or not. I'm not pulling out my phone and going like I'm not doing that. And to the point of what you said, there's another person that I can have a conversation with that's going to know what's going on because you obviously don't. And that ain't nothing against you. And it goes to the Twitter post of dude saying you're just a hard-working 9-to-5 dude. I understand that. Usually the conversations that I have are with people above your pay grade, and that's not your fault. Get your boss out here. He's going to be more understanding of what's going on, and then we can make something shake. But I'm not having this conversation with you, a nigga telling me that I can't get in. And that goes to the privilege point of it. And I respect privilege because you work for that.
Yeah.
Like, niggas work for that privilege. Yeah, like he put in work for that. So I respect the privilege part of it and expecting people to do stuff and bend over backwards for you when you're a celebrity, but you can't be butt hurt when it don't happen, bro. Like, it's just it's not a good look. And then Tiny in the back gassing.
Yeah, she gassing it for sure. Because they just got them 70 M's. They probably thinking, like, how dare y'all? So I get it. There's also, listen, I've been in plenty of situations in my life to where I did not have all of the appropriate or required criteria, whether it's to enter somewhere, whether it's to go somewhere,
dress wrong.
Yeah, whatever the case is. And the majority of those times I was okay and was able to get in because I know how to talk to people. And I know how to take myself out of the situation and genuinely ask, all right, then bet. This is the case. What do I do from here? Like, is there anything we can work? Is there anything we can do, man? You know, it's a genuine mistake. Because everything I do is genuine. So it's a genuine mistake, man. You know, is there any way? I mean, I came all the way from here. I ain't from here. I'm just trying to check this out. I heard great things. Is there anything we can do? And that leads into the conversation. Can you get your boss out here? Not because you did anything wrong. I just came all this way. I really want to see what's going on. Sometimes you just talk to people the right way because, listen, let me remind people of one thing. People do not care about their jobs like that. People don't care about their jobs like that. Some people do. You might catch somebody every now and then. But I'm sure if he said all that, man, he's like, man, go ahead, bro. Go ahead. You good, man. Right. Maybe there's an issue, and, you know, maybe there's an issue where they had too many minors there. Maybe that's something in Texas. That's a law. Like, we can get our liquor license taken if somebody tries to audit people or try to check to see if they have the ID, or we're serving drinks without checking people's IDs. Who knows? I don't know. Now, the thing that I really want to kind of go over in a sense is to go back to this context, because context is key. And this is part of what the problem is with the internet. Too many people are stating their opinions as facts, and that's dangerous when you start doing that. So the person that wrote that caption, money doesn't unlame a lane. Cool. All right, I get what you're saying. But then he says context and explains what the context is. We have no idea what the context is. For all we know, T.I. could have done everything I just said. Been on the coolest shit. He might have even slid him, bro. I got a couple hundred for you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to get me and my wife and my boy in. That's all. We just trying to have a good little time. We ain't here to do nothing. Spend some money. Check out the city. You know what I mean? He could have been super dickhead. And maybe that's what forced it to. We don't know. Of course, you already know what they say. The second person always gets caught. So T.I. looks lame by doing all this. But we have no idea what Buddy was doing first. He could have just been chilling, doing his job, and T.I. flipped. He could have earned that. And we don't know. And my issue with this is when dude says stuff and you're judging character based off the video you saw, you got to show the whole thing. Don't say context and say your opinion, because that's what you think happened. That's what you see in this video. But we don't know what else happened. And there's too many. I know this is a very small scale and it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, but we just got finished with an election where I saw plenty of people doing that. And there are people who aren't smart enough, aren't ambitious enough to go out and find their own information. So what they read, they assume is to be true. Facts. Like Spike Lee, me and you could both go on Twitter today and put up some bullshit. And there are going to be people who follow us that believe what we said.
Who agree with it, didn't research it, will retweet it and repeat it to people just because they agree with it.
Exactly.
Not doing any other research for it.
Exactly, man. And that's just a dangerous thing to go about. I did see a lot of other people in the comments agreeing with that mindset about T.I. Lane for this, blah, blah, blah. But once again, I'm gonna reserve judgment. It could have been T.I. Blacking out. You too big for that. You too good for that. Like, bro, that's not a good look for you. But also, shout out to Chaz. When you feel disrespected, act accordingly. Dude could have really disrespected him, disrespected his wife, and he felt that was a need to go ahead and handle it. I don't know. We don't know for sure. However, at the end of the day, what we do know is T.I., you better than that. That's beneath you. Like it's something about seeing your OGs just kind of do things like that. Yeah, like you know, I know you, Spike. You've talked about it, like how it breaks your heart to see Dame on his Chatty Patty.
Oh man,
like certain people you look up to, it's like, damn man, you're not the OG. You ain't supposed to be doing that. You know what I mean? But
I expected more.
Exactly. So who knows? It's small.
Denzel doing it right now. Like, and was that you talking about they trying to bring out all our heroes? Did you say that?
No. I didn't say that.
I think I think it was Ken that said that. He was like, they aiming to just take all our black heroes out of here. Talking about, I'm not calling R. Kelly a hero, but he was of high status in the black community. But Kelly, Diddy, they tried it with Michael Jackson, fucking Bill Cosby. Now you even got Denzel talking about he shot dope and was a drunk for the last 50 years of his life. Like, why would he come out and say that?
Hey, this is a very interesting thing. Denzel, I don't know if I chalked that up. You remember Quincy, R.I.P. Quincy Jones, who we recently lost. Remember the infamous Quincy Jones interview?
Mm-hmm.
Now he was older than 70 when he made that interview. But remember, his kids had to come out and be like, yo, man, nigga, you wildin', bro. You gotta retract some of this shit. Because Quincy ain't give a fuck. I think certain people.
Quincy went crazy.
Quincy was going nuts.
Didn't he call like Sidney Poitier? Didn't he say that he slept with Marlon Brando or some shit like that?
No, he's talking about Marlon Brando will sleep with anything. Like literally, I think he said something about Marlon Brando will fuck a mailbox. Marvin Gaye. He started naming people like, he said Marlon Brando slept with Marvin Gaye. He just slept with all types of people, bro. Just wilding.
Hey, just wilding. Yo.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro. Like I said, his kids had to come out like, hey, man, you got to chill. You got to relax, bro. You can't be out here saying this shit.
You putting this 70 million. Putting this 70 million, you're going to be leaving us on the line.
Exactly, man. So I just think Denzel is at that point where he just doesn't care. He's always been an honest person. It's odd because it's like, why did I miss the question? And once again, this goes back to context. I have not watched full interviews. I've only been seeing clips. So I have no idea where the conversation's going. Here's a perfect example of this, Spike. Here's a perfect example of this. This is something you taught me, even though it happened 8 years ago. You taught me this year.
What?
And it's just funny how perception, people just run with it. The infamous Mark Jackson knocked Savannah James out the park. Watch the full clip, everyone.
Watch the full clip.
For years, I've laughed. Like I'll be, you know how they do the memes, like nobody at all, and I'll randomly be in my head like, why did Mark Jackson say that?
Like Mark Jackson just dirty
on national TV. Say I'll knock Savannah James at the park. All due respect, and me in school laugh about it. Me and other people laugh about it because that shit's so fried and wild. Like you said this during the NBA Finals, my nigga. Like what you want? Spike Lee for the first time, and that was 2016, it's 2024. Spike Lee for the first time in 8 years explained to me there is a longer clip that explains that in better context. And what they were talking about right before that was how Savannah James, LeBron James' wife, was like an all-city softball player in Akron in high school.
Yep.
So when he said I'll knock out the park because she was a pitcher, and he was referring to, I think Mike Green might have asked him the question, like, do you think you can get hit off Savannah? You think she would strike you out? And that's when he went, like, you call her Savannah all city, she all world, and I knock her out the park, all due respect. He was talking about literal baseball, softball, not knocking her cheeks in. And it's just funny for so many years. There's countless people who probably think that nigga was really trying to go. I done seen people say that's why Mark Jackson ain't got no coaching job and all that, bro. Like he was talking about her baseball skills or softball skills. That's just hilarious, bro. Ain't it funny how life works?
That's fucking hilarious, man. I'll never forget when I sent you that. And you was like, wait, is there more to this?
I just thought, hey, listen, because Savannah Cole, man, that's that man's wife. So all due respect. Savannah's a beautiful woman. A beautiful woman. So I literally was on, so I thought he had a moment where he was just like, man, and I knock out the park, all due respect. And if you, even the clip by itself, the all due respect makes it funny. It make it sound like He tried to be respectful that she's a wife, but he don't give a fuck. Like, bro, I'll hit that shit out the park. Because all of us feel, and it's only funny because a lot of niggas feel like I hit that shit out the park too.
Every nigga would say that. Every nigga would say that.
Respectfully. But the fact that he was literally talking about softball makes that shit even funnier. And I say all that to say, man, context matters. Context matters and everything. I don't even know what I was talking about something else before we got into it.
He was talking about the context of, you know, them judging T.I. not knowing what happened prior to that. Like,
you don't know what happened prior. Now, I'm cool if you just tell me from this video, T.I. look like a lame. That's perfectly fine. Money can't unlame a lame.
What he did was lame. Yeah, he's not a lame.
Yeah, what he did was lame. I was about to say, I don't think T.I.'s never really struck me as a lame per se. He's had his, he's had his moments and lashes out, and obviously I saw a lot of people saying now we see where King get it from. When all that stuff was happening, Son King. But he an emotional dude, man. If you follow his music, you know he's been an emotional dude. He's a 5'9" with the soul of a 6'4" nigga, man. He's a hothead. He ain't got no problem saying it how he feels.
Have you ever seen the clip of him and Tiny when the whole thing Were We at Odds came out? Have you ever seen it?
It's been a while. I know what you're talking about, but
I had never watched it. I just seen it like recently, and it was so funny how he threw that on her because she brought up him like running up on her and Floyd, and he was like, I don't like that nigga, whatever this, that, and the third may be. And then Tiny was like, well, what about this chick? And the nigga's like, well, y'all at odds? Genuinely, though. It was genuine. Not like you got it fucked up because I don't like Buddy. So I thought that was funny as hell. But I just recently seen that. It made me think of that when you said, talking about he'll just pop off because, running up on Floyd Mayweather is crazy.
Yeah, that's once again, T.I. If you run up on a professional undefeated boxer,
insane.
Like I said, if this was that time, Bouncer would have got smacked around.
And he think he can take him though. Like he was in that clip, like he think he can beat dude up too, for real. That's what's crazy.
Really,
I ain't mad at it though. That's why all of those things that we just spoke about is why he's one of my favorite, if not my favorite rapper.
Yeah, man. Shout out to T.I. Not a good look for you. You got caught lacking. Next time, if you're gonna make a video like that, man, just make sure you get the whole thing so we can get a little bit more understanding, maybe side with you a little bit more. Huh?
Or give us context,
man. Yeah. Or here's an idea. Don't post that shit at all.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Just leave.
Just leave and go to the next spot. You could also do that. That's also an option. You know what I'm saying? That's almost like when people post themselves crying and shit. Like, bro, just turn it. Oh, stop it. Nobody would have known.
Chat. Yeah, I put this in the group chat. And one of the first responses that I got, because I put it in the group chat and said lame. And one of the first responses I got from Big Jeff was like, so you ain't never got into it with security? And I said, fair point, but I didn't tape it.
I've never posted
I don't have that. Yeah, there's no video evidence of it. Like you may have been there and seen me getting into it with security, and people may have been there, but it wasn't online. Like nobody has video record of it.
That's what's the lame part. See, all right, human emotion is not lame, right? We've all been there. Human emotion is not lame. Feeling like whatever your emotion at the moment is so important that you have to share it with people who never asked about it. That's lame. Going out in public,
what they supposed to
recording, going out in public, recording yourself, giving money to homeless people. That's lame.
Yes.
Making fun of people who denied you access into an establishment. That's lame. Yes. Recording yourself crying is lame. Posted up in the hospital bed. Pray for me, y'all. Trying to get that attention. That's lame to me. I'm sorry. Like there's a certain way to go about certain things. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but that's just you're looking for attention. And I'd rather you say, hey, y'all, like I'm looking for this attention. Like, just do that. But nobody really cares, man. It makes you look a certain way. Like I said, having the emotion is a care. But like you said, you've gotten into it with security. I've gotten into it with security. Yeah, but I've never pulled my phone out and did the whole, hey, man, look at this nigga behind me, man. This old lame ass. Come on, man.
You nigga don't want to let me in, man, because I ain't got my ID. Yeah, nigga, you supposed to.
And that's part of the listen. Hold on, talk about too, man. That's part of the problem too. Motherfuckers be racist as hell, and people too busy keep putting out their phones instead of smacking fire out of niggas.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Videos I done seen of people going crazy with the racism. And niggas all look at them Look at them. Sometimes it ain't cool to be the bigger person, man. Nah, you got to know the buck stops here.
Yeah.
Every time you think about saying some racist shit, I want you to think about my right hand coming across the left side of your face. Every time you think about adding that ER to something, and every time you think about going crazy, man. Last time I did this, I got my ass whooped. It ain't gonna be no. I'm pulling out my phone and showing people you racist. Nah, nigga, you go catch these hands. Fuck all
yeah,
that,
I'm always surprised at the video clips of the road rage or the famous, the white, just two famous ones. My man in the Burger King hat on the airplane that kept saying nigger.
Yeah, nigga with the Burger King. Yeah, bro, come on.
My man's right there, and the white chick leaving out of the store. And it's funny.
Oh yeah, she was wilding.
We laugh about this on Good Earners sometimes. Hey, but it was foul, but that was funny. I can't even hold you, nigger.
You know what's crazy, Spike? You know what's crazy?
Hey, that shit funny. I can't hold you.
You could tell when somebody's unwell too. Like, let me put a little. Speaking of context, let me put a little bit more context. If something directly happens to me, right? If somebody goes some bullshit to me, they addressing me. That's what I mean. If I'm walking by and I see somebody, nigga, I'm like, all right, man, I ain't about to. You go about your day, bro. I ain't got nothing funny.
I ain't gonna be like fucking Superman and save everybody. Yeah,
but when they talking about you, they talking about your mama, they talking about your kids, and you got your phone out recording them. Nah, bro, that shit stop here. I don't know who you think you talking to. Yeah, but just a random still dude obviously wasn't well. Like, and I ain't got as long as you don't bring that nigga shit to me.
Hey, I said this somewhere, bro. Airport and plane, you can damn near get it almost away with anything with me. I don't want no smoke in no airport or on no planes like that, bro. Just let me get through my little trip and get my luggage. I don't want no smoke, nigga. Nowhere in this motherfucker.
I tell people all the time, and I'm not trying to end up on nobody's no-fly list.
Nah,
I like going places too much.
This is a safe, this is a safe space. Airport, you can airports and planes is a safe space, my nigga. Like I'm always fascinated.
You remember that video of the airline? They wasn't on the plane; it was actually in the airport. He worked for one of the airlines, and he ended up pushing the dude. The dude just knocked this shit out.
Yeah, it was an NFL player. It was
not that.
Oh, not that.
It was a different dude. It don't matter, man. It's just always funny. I just have to imagine how mad I get to be fighting in the airport.
Bro.
But let's go ahead and pivot. I don't think there was anything else that I saw out in the zeitgeist that was worth speaking of. I feel like there might have been something. I can't remember what it was. Let me take a quick look before we move on to the main topic.
Sure thing. Yeah, the only thing I seen was that Denzel stuff. Of course, Tyson and Jake Paul fought, but that's gonna be a little while since we recorded this. I don't know if you watched it all. I had niggas telling me it was fake, which I don't really believe that. I think Mike just looked that old. And he lost to Jake Paul. I'm like, it's okay saying that a 60-year-old man got beat by a 28-year-old with some boxing experience. Like, I get it. But I don't think it was fake. I had people trying to convince me that it was fake and it was staged, and I just don't think so. But there has been video evidence and people out there talking about that it has, man. I don't know.
Yeah, because the people taking his practice clips and saying all that, I ain't really got much to say about Mike and Jake Paul. Whatever, man. Whatever. I know. And listen, I know this. I know that NFL game on Christmas better not be buffering like that fight. They got to get that shit under control, man. Yeah, they got some work to do on that.
Work to do, bro. Yeah, they can't do.
We don't got to talk about this because we mentioned it. We mentioned check out Good Earners, man. We had a silly ass wild fried episode with some things that's gonna be coming out on Monday. But the Jay Leno shit is hilarious to me. We don't really even have to talk about that. I hope Jay is cool. But I mentioned this before on a previous chapter. I ain't gotta lie, man. I promise. Just tell the truth. Tell the truth and don't say that, man. Because for you to come up with that lie, none of it made sense. None of it made sense. It reminded me of the first time I heard about the Jussie Smollett shit. And I'm like, none of this shit makes sense. I'm not accusing Jussie of anything, but his story sounds bogus. And I thought about that with Jay Leno. You said what?
His charges just got overturned. Jussie Smollett.
Jussie? Shout out to him, man. Love to see a black man free from the judicial system, man. He did some fried shit, but it is what it is, man. I'm always going to root for him. You know what I mean? Plenty of people do fried shit and they get caught up. I'm glad Jussie out of it. But the Jay Leno shit, we ain't got to go into detail. I just thought it's hilarious that this man, black and blue face, with the eye patch over it, say he fell down a hill, a 60-foot hill, standing at a Hampton Inn, because he wanted to go Spike Lee. He said he wanted to go get dinner at a local restaurant that was down the street. Instead of walking the time on the street, he said, I saw a hill and decided to take a shortcut. And he took a 60-foot drop. Come on, Jay. Who's supposed to believe that?
What about that sounds believable, though? Like, bro, I'm Jay Leno. I'm not walking nowhere, bro. Like,
Jay
first
Leno.
of all, like, what are we talking about? Jay Leno's net worth, if you look it up, and I know this, you can take this with a grain of salt. If you look it up, Jay Leno's worth $450 million.
Why are you standing at the Hampton Inn, bro?
What?
Where's your driver? I know he loves cars. I know Jay loves cars. He might drive himself, but you love cars way too much to even walk.
Yeah,
like, why are you standing at the Hampton Inn? Like, come on, man. He injured his face in a nasty fall. And that's not even. Come on, Jay. Stop it. I know a nigga that owe money when I see him.
Owe money that just got beat up. One or the other. Like, one of the other things happened.
And you know it had to be something he deserved, because if a celebrity like Jay Leno gets beat up, he would have been called the authorities. So that means he don't want nothing to be found out.
He don't want nobody to know nothing about it.
That might be a segment. That might be a new segment for another week in the books. Anytime somebody come out with some bogus ass shit, we just have a segment called, man, just keep it a buck. You ain't got to lie to us. You do not have to lie to us, man. Just either be quiet, or tell the truth. But to come out and tell people like you look stupid, that's gonna be a running segment anytime we see a crazy story, because that shit was so fried. When I was on here on book one, we talked about the Carly Russell. Stop it. Like, some shit just sound crazy. I always tell people, man, before I make a brash decision or a rash decision, I say it out loud, because I want to hear what it sounds saying to somebody.
What do that sound like?
I got fired because of this.
I learned that in therapy.
I lost this opportunity because of this. I lost my girl because of this. Like, say it out loud and think about the reaction you're gonna get when you say that shit. It's gonna stop you from doing 90% of the dumb shit that you're thinking about doing. I promise you. It's worked for me for years.
Shout out to D'Anthony, was a co-author on book one. I learned that in therapy. Like, say it in the mirror. Look yourself in the eye and say that shit.
Yeah.
Like, look at yourself and say that shit. And you judge on how it sounds coming out of your mouth and how you look saying that. That's a gem right there. You're right about that.
Oh, man. But yeah, there was nothing else that I wanted to talk about, man. Keep it a buck, y'all. That's a new segment coming to another week in the books. We might rename it. I don't know. We'll see. But Spike Lee, let's talk about this main part, main course, as we keep the Thanksgiving theme going. Or those who don't. I know not everybody celebrates Thanksgiving. I know it's got a lot of.
Oh, we've gotten to that point where people have changed the name of it.
Well, yeah, people don't. Well, I don't know if they changed the name, but they call it. Yeah, there's definitely people who don't fuck with Thanksgiving just based off the racist history and all of that stuff that goes with it. I think that we're of a generation that we don't look at it like that. This is just an opportunity for us to get with friends, get with family, drink, eat, talk shit, play cards, play dominoes, the whole nine. Not getting super deep with it, but as we come along this time of the year, it is a reminder to just kind of stop and reflect on what you're thankful for. I'm sure towards the end of this year, as we get closer to the new year, Spike and myself will talk about goals and resolutions and other things. But something that we've talked about, we don't get a lot of time to do, and that's sit back and reflect and really think about what we're thankful for from this year. And it can be anything. Spike, I don't know if you want me to start, if you have anything. But we can start this conversation, man, because I do have a lot of things that I'm thankful for right now.
All right, so I think you can start, and then we could play off each other. But I got a question based off something that you just said. At the get-together, dominoes, spades, Monopoly, which one you playing first?
Spades.
Yeah.
Actually, it's going to be spades, dominoes, Monopoly.
Really? I'm Monopoly, spades, dominoes.
Okay, then got you. I ain't
mad. I'm always up for a good Monopoly game, but niggas hate how long this shit takes. Pause. But yeah, a good Monopoly game is always there for me. So, Rich, tell us what you thankful for, my brother.
They're gonna be mad if we don't say Uno either. Uno will probably be fourth on the list, but Uno's big in the crib.
Really? I've never been a big Uno guy.
Yeah, it's fourth on my list, man. But Uno's always get jumping. I've never seen anybody say put the Uno cards up.
True. That's fair.
But thankful, man. So thankful, man. First and foremost, it's always going to be a people thing, right? I'm not going to necessarily name people individually all throughout, but my family, specifically my mom, my sister, thankful for them, man, for always sometimes I just sit back, just in life in general, think about how blessed I am for a lot of things, and mainly a lot of people who have entered my life. Kind of just blessed to be born in a family. A lot of things I can't control, but to have a mom like my mom, a sister like my sister, it just means everything, because there's nothing that I ever feel I can't accomplish, and nothing I ever feel that I'm doing alone or without any kind of support. Even if it's just them, that's all the support I need. And I'm very thankful for them. My sister's entering a new phase of life, so I'm happy and I'm excited for her. Mom's is, when I left the city this year and both our kids are going, handling that transition well, man, and just kind of growing our relationship. And I've talked about it a couple weeks ago, just about learning each other more, learning her as a person versus learning her as my mom. I'm thankful for those opportunities. That really means a lot. And the same with my sister. Us being 9 years apart, sometimes growing up, it felt like a second mom. But man, she gave me so much game. I always said my sister's the best person I know. And she's just an incredible human being and has accomplished so much, and one of the best role models you can think of and ask for. And just genuinely cool, man. We had a conversation yesterday on the phone for like 40-some minutes, just catching up and just sharing each other's excitement of what's going on in life. So shout out to her, man. I'm extremely thankful for them. Also, when it comes to friends, I'm thankful for all of my friends who give me the space to kind of be who I need to be at this phase of life. One thing and this could be a topic one day, Spike, that we can discuss, but when you're chasing your dreams, when you really have a goal in mind and you locked in and you focus, contrary to popular belief, because of how Spike and myself's personality are, that is difficult at times to tell people, I can't do this. I don't have time for this. I can't provide myself to you in the way that you want me to provide myself to you, because my time is allocated to this. And right now I'm so locked in on this. I need to see this through before I can even do anything else. That doesn't mean there's some compromises. It doesn't mean that you don't make time for yourself to do other things, but there's a lot of things that you do miss out on. And I can't be more thankful for the people who allow me or appreciate the low maintenance friendship that's required sometimes. The people that don't make you feel bad because you don't always come through to see them, or you don't always pull up. But anytime y'all connect, anytime y'all talk, is always where you picked up where you came off, or you pick up where you left off. Right? That's important to me at this phase of my life. You know what I mean? It's hard to add someone in, and then as soon as you do, it's like, oh well, shit, you always got something going on, or you don't do all right then, man, it's cool. Like, so shout out to everybody that just allows me to say, man, you know what? I see you chasing, I see you grinding. That's one thing my sister talked to me about yesterday, like just how passionate you are about what you do in this podcast space. I think is admirable. You know what I mean? And the people that can see that and are like, you know what? Cool, man. I'm here to support you. We gonna link up when we link up. As Hov said, our time together is our time together. The whole night, whatever it is. Yeah, man. Friendships, whatever. Because it's hard for me. And like I said, you do feel guilty at times. You know what I mean? But there are times where I'm like, damn, I'm doing all this all week. I don't have time for myself. I need a little bit of time to refresh. Otherwise, I ain't gonna be good to nobody. That could turn into something. So I know it's not talked about a lot, but I am thankful for that. And also just the incredible people that I get to work with. Not career-wise, I'm talking about just in the space. I'm thankful for, obviously, Rachel, School, you, Mo, Chaz. Those are like y'all the five I've consistently worked with. You can throw in Ash, Mia, Brian, just people who I've kind of like tossed ideas around over the past few years as I entered this space, because I never thought that I'd be here. And when I say here, I don't mean like I've reached a certain height, but it's that area of opportunity. I feel like I'm still scratching the surface, but you see what the opportunities are, and you see other things that come from it. And it starts out as one thing, and then you're like, all right, then all of this means something, and it's building towards something. Even if I don't know what that something is, it's all headed there. And podcasting honestly has allowed me to communicate better. And I've always been good at communication, but it's allowed me to kind of be more expressive with my feelings. It's allowed me to understand who I am a little bit better and be more firm in that. You know what I mean? Instead of dragging certain things on, I can end it. Like this is not where I am in life right now. I'm cool. You know what I mean? It allows me to be more open. Like adding this podcast, because jumping on another week in the books has allowed me to have deeper, more meaningful conversations with people that I really care about. And not only me doing that, but them expressing the same. You know what I mean? And it's crazy how refreshing a conversation like that can be. And just really enjoying yourself and enjoying the mind, or excuse me, enjoying the moment, being present. So everybody that I get to work with, man, I couldn't ask for better people to just have great conversations with, man, have meaningful things. You never know what I was talking about. You never know what's going to happen when you press record. You just never know. You never know how the episode's going to go. I would relate it to a stand-up, like, right? Like, once I get on that stage, I don't know if this crowd's going to relate. I don't know if I'm going to bomb. I don't know if I'm going to forget my jokes. You just never know where the conversation leads. And there's been moments where I was just like, yo, that was an incredible talk. And it's hard to do that with just everybody. So I've been extremely blessed in that manner. I'm proud and thankful for that. I'm proud of what I've done as far as personally taking a leap and really following something that I wanted to do in my career. I can say that I wake up and I genuinely enjoy what I do for a living. Even if it required me to move out of my comfort zone and leave Cincinnati to a city that I never thought I'd live in. I never thought I'd live in Cleveland ever. But here we are. And I'm proud of myself for making that jump, man. Like, not being scared about leaving, like I said, the comfort zone, leaving moms, leaving your core friends and everything else. Just kind of like, man, live your own life, spread your wings, man, and kind of see what happens from this. And it's one of the best decisions I've made because it's pushed me to areas that I would have never reached had I not left and kind of like figure things out again. And it also makes me thankful for constantly pushing myself and looking for things to look forward to, or looking for ways to grow. Right. I could have easily just stayed where I was and just kept doing the same things, but recognizing that it's time to grow, recognizing that it's time to learn. That's a big thing for me, man. So all of those are things that I've been extremely proud of and thankful for this year, because I understand how you reach a certain point in your life where it's just the same thing over and over, and you can just check out. Right? You can look in the mirror one day and say, man, you know what? This is my life. And I'm going to be doing this until I'm 65, 70, 75, and I'm going to check out of here. And that's it. And that's scary to me. I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that there is something. Yeah, there is. I'm glad that there is something inside of me that always looks for that next challenge and that next goal. And always, we talked about it a few weeks back, man, really, really looking, and I'm sure we'll talk about this in the goals list when we at the end of the year, but really looking for those challenges that scare the shit out of me. You know what I mean? And those things where I have no idea how I'm going to do this, but I said I'm going to get it done and I'm going to do it. We've talked about it before, man. There's too many people that have done certain things where, man, I can figure this out. I just believe in myself that much. You know, and I just hope everybody has something like that they are aiming for and looking to do, and just have the self-motivation and the discipline to get it done. So I'm thankful that I've been able to learn that, keep that, learn about myself. Still so much work that I got to do, but those are all things I'm genuinely thankful for. And I forgot Phil, man. Shout out to my dog Phil when I mentioned podcasting, and he's in that circle too. But Phil's also like my best friend, man. That's my brother. So yeah, all of that. I just don't want to forget nobody. Yeah, I kept telling them, man, we got to get him on here. We got to get a Phil on here. There's so many conversations I love to have with him, from being a father of 4 girls to
4 girls, everything. No boys.
4 girls, no boys, man. Ooh, 2 sets of twins.
I know that's rough in the house with Phil. I know he want to get
man.
away.
No doubt, man. He always say, "Well, let me know." You know, I'm gonna let him speak for himself. But yeah, that was beautiful. All of that, and I'm sure there's more things. But said, my brother, I appreciate that, man. It's I love giving people their flowers, man, and I love acknowledging where we are in life, because it's not. I want to do it more. I think it's okay. I think a lot of us are so humble, or we feel things are so normal and natural, that we don't take the time to really stop and say, you know what, that was dope. That was pretty cool, man. There was a moment that happened last week, Culture Garden. We recorded our 100th episode, and I was asking School and Rachel, because we were just kind of having a memory lane moment, and I was asking School and Rachel, you know, did y'all ever think that we get here? Y'all ever think we get to 100 episodes? Like, did that ever in y'all mind in the beginning? And, you know, they talked about it, and Rachel said something that I just really appreciated. She said, yeah, like she kind of like thought about it for a second, like, yeah, like more than anything else, it's because of you. Like, you just, like, the way you kind of pull, like, and kind of just bring it out of people. Like, I always knew we get here. Like, I just knew that was something that we could accomplish as long as you wanted to do it. Like, even if there was days that I didn't feel, I don't want to misquote her, but even when there was days when she wasn't feeling it, like just hearing the passion and hearing my vision for certain things and be like, I bet. And then once you hit record and have the conversation, you know, you really enjoy that time. And I appreciated that. I deflect a lot of my compliments, man. I'm terrible at taking compliments. I'm awful at it.
Too.
You know what I mean? I deflected, and I've had a week to think about that, man. And it really meant a lot to me because sometimes you do things that you think people don't notice. And not saying you do it for the attention, but you know, just have somebody acknowledge the grind, or in her sense, kind of just say, man, in a roundabout way, you inspire me to keep going because I draw from your energy when it comes to this. You know, and that's crazy because I'm such a big fan of Rachel and she's just so naturally talented, but I never think about myself in that way. And I want to start thinking about myself the way other people see me. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So, I think all of that was very well put. And not even just drawing from the sense, like you said, I have those moments a lot. Again, me and you have similar personalities. When someone to give you a compliment about something, they'll comment on something, you be like, I didn't even really know people was paying attention. I ain't even gonna hold you. I just do this shit because, you know, it's a passion that I have. So if I had to start off of that, going into what I'm most thankful for, it's the people that constantly remind me of that. Because sometimes I can get in that thing where I'm a worker. Like I can put my head down and go to work and not worry about the other stuff or like what it's meaning to people or what you can do from it. I get caught up in just, since I've been working since I was 14 years old, just working. So I'm thankful for people like you, Mo, I got Dro, Scoops to hit me, like people that comment on what I do. Like, even if it's just, I heard you say this or I heard you say that, and wanting to further the conversation with the person that they know versus the person that they heard on the podcast or whatever it may be. That's always special to me, that people are listening and giving me a reason to continue to do it outside of the reason that I love to do it and it's something that I enjoy. Sometimes you forget that people are listening. Like, sometimes it feels like, especially with this platform, we're just right here having a conversation. When we were good earners, we just right here talking about the Sopranos. Then you get the feedback and you get the different things. You're like, oh shit, like it means a lot to somebody. And if it's one person or 1,000 people, like it still means something. So I'm thankful.
Not to cut you off, Spike, man. I'm glad you said that because I have to. This is for both of us, and I want to share this on here because obviously we work together on multiple podcasts. But Spike and myself, man, and I want to take some time to really talk about it. We talk about acknowledging things in real time. So, like I said, I hate to break it up, but I think this is really important. Yesterday, when we were recording Good Earners, we received an email or a DM from a lady named Miss Glenetta, older white lady. She's a English teacher, Cincinnati Public Schools, or she has been for many years. And she made a comment about, if you don't know about Good Earners, we review The Sopranos episode by episode, scene by scene, very long form, right? And it's really just us having a conversation from a Black perspective, just overall intellectual perspective about what we're watching on that show, the things we pick up. That's what makes art great, right? You can talk about it a million times and have these conversations. And she went on to give us compliments, but one of the things she said was, I wish I could use your I wish I could teach a class on The Sopranos so I can use your podcast as how to teach students how to convey their thoughts and how to really analyze work and analyze art. And if you ever listen to Good Earners, man, we're very Black, very ourselves, very authentic. There's no punches pulled. It's not for a corporate audience. Shit, we was on some fried shit yesterday with some of the stuff that we were laughing about and joking about. But for her, from a completely different walk of life, to appreciate something like that and say something, I've never heard anybody say, this is so good, I would teach it to a group of students. Like, they should teach a class on this just so you can play your podcast. That was incredible to me, Spike. What did that make you? How did that make you feel? Because I'm thankful for that.
I'm thankful for that as well. Like you, it meant a lot because we don't do this for the compliments, Rich. You know, like we know that. Like it feels great. I will say that. Like it feels wonderful, but like if you let the compliments make you, then you also let them break you. Because like motherfuckers, the same people that'll tear you down and make you feel the same way. So like what you said, in the sense of someone listening who don't know me, may not be from the same walk of life as me, but can hear the dedication and the passion that we put into this on a weekly basis amongst multiple platforms and shows, speaking specifically about Good Orange. This one is just like, when you feel seen, that feels great. And we don't get to acknowledge that enough, I feel like, as men. Like, just being seen. Like, that ain't nothing what we say. That ain't our everyday vocabulary, man. I feel seen and it felt great. Like, but that's a real thing. And that's something that we should learn to lean into as Black men, especially, like letting people know, like, when you see what I'm genuinely trying to do, when I'm genuinely talking about something, when I'm showing my passion, when I'm sharing my perspective, even if you agree, disagree, you don't like how it came out, I said nigga too many times, whatever it may be, you still seeing the passion and you still seeing the focus and you still see the dedication that I have towards this subject. For that to be said, like, that meant the world. That's one of the best compliments that I've gotten in doing this. Like, easily one of the best compliments that I've gotten. So I'm thankful for that, like you said. And I'm thankful again for being around people that bring that out of me. Like, all of the people that I work in this space with, you and Mo and AB, we constantly clash. I mean, that's the dynamic of our relationship, though, and it's never personal. All the guys that I work with at Dead End, with Ken and Rod and Beezy and Mike and FIFO, like, it's so fulfilling to be able to work with people and not have the drama that I see most of these more popular podcasts have, and the discussions people have about, oh, these people don't like each other and they record. Like, I can genuinely say, like, I like everybody that I do this with. It ain't just, oh, I do this because it's convenient for them and this person's a yes person, so they're gonna let me do whatever, or I'm gonna let them say, like, no, like, I can have genuine disagreements, genuine conversations, and still respect the person that I'm talking to. Like, I'm very blessed in a sense and thankful for, like, everyone that I do this with. I like them.
Yeah.
Like, it ain't no like co-worker type relationship. I like them. Like, I have genuine care about what they talk about, how they feel about stuff. And even if I agree or disagree, I still genuinely like them. So that's one of the things that I'm most thankful about.
Yeah, not to mention, man, to that point about people we record with, the relationships now are not tied to podcasting. And I think that's dope. They're not tied to podcasting, man. Obviously, myself, Rachel, myself, School, even Phil, that's different because we know each other personally on a real life, been knowing each other for multiple years. And you know, Rachel could tell me, as talented as she is, right? As much as I love working with her, Rachel can literally tell me tomorrow, hey, I don't feel like recording anymore, or I feel like doing something else and recording my own lane. And there would never be any kind of, oh, damn. It'd be like, all right, bet. Can I help you in anything? Cool. And when I say help, I don't mean be a part of it. Is there anything you need for me to do that? Because we have a real genuine friendship and relationship. You know what I mean? So it's never tied to this. I've always said I'm leaving with what I came in with when it comes to podcasting. That's why I'll never let podcasting break up any kind of relationship. And for the people that I met after the fact, this has turned into something where I genuinely appreciate it, man. So when I say fam, like, I mean that as a real term of endearment. Fam means that, bruh, that don't mean you talk every day. That don't mean, you know, all this and that. It means, like, literally, you hit my line, bro, I got you, or whatever you need. Like, you mean that much to me that I want to make sure you succeed, and whatever I can do to help, or if you ever down or need anything, I'm going to be one of the people that you can depend on and rely on. You know what I mean? So I just, that's, like you said, to echo your point, man, I think that's incredible.
It's incredible. Like we were lucky. Like, we were lucky that, like, we were able to connect. That Mo reached out and jumped out on a leap of faith, and was like, well, maybe I'm gonna reach out to this guy and hopefully he'll do this with me, and then hopefully this, and it just catapulting to what we have now, as far as not even the shows. Like, the shows is second nature. Like, I have two more friends, like, that I consider real friends from doing this, and I'm thankful for that. Shout out to the good brother Mo for putting that in action.
You ever stop and think sometimes, and I guess it's kind of pointless because you don't know, life would have continued going as it went. But do you ever stop and think sometimes about, man, what would have happened if Mo never answered, or Mo ever never reached out, or if I ignored the message or something? Like, could you imagine not having good earners or doing something so special? Like, it's crazy to think about.
I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine not knowing you or Mo right now.
Yeah, it's nuts when you think about it. You know what I mean? And this is coming from the same person that just said, if I was out and I met somebody,
I'm not taking your number,
crazy,
nigga. Like,
just get out of here.
Right. I'm not taking your number. I'm never calling you. I don't want to see you again. Nice to see you right now. Let's move on.
Yeah.
But yeah,
and man.
Even more so coming from two niggas just like that and respecting that. Like and again, one of the things that I'm thankful for, and I don't think we put a plug in a while. I got a DM said I need to be endorsed by this book. But one of the things that I learned from Monk and the Ferrari, the monk that sold the Ferrari, is like being present in the moment. Like, I'm really bad at that, bro. Like, I'm really bad at being present and like, oh, you're right here, you're doing this. Like, I spend the majority of my Sundays when I want to be watching football. I wake up at 10 to get to the studio by 11 and record from 11 to maybe 4:30 or 5 with a platform that, like, I don't know Ken, Mike, B, Raw. I didn't know them before I started podcasting. It was just something I stumbled upon, and the relationship grew from there. And what that book helped me understand is like being present in the moment and understanding like it's a platform that was formed around the same time that yours was, has went in different directions and got different topics that they talk about. And I'm fortunate to be there every Sunday and be a part of those recordings. And not only from the people that I built from on deck, but tapping into their fan base as well. And just being present enough to know like everybody don't get a chance to do this, bro. Everybody can't just pull up to this with somebody or link with a company or people and have and really like it's genuine connection. And I fuck with them like I consider them friends of mine now. And you sit there on a Sunday for 4 or 5 hours and you're talking to 10, 15,000 people, 20,000 people, just off the humble, and you're able to do that and have the presence of mind to understand that that's a privilege. Like it's not a like, man, I'm missing football and Sunday is my chill day. I could not be doing this and not be doing that. So I'm thankful to be able to have the opportunity to do that. And I had to wrap my mind around that. Listening to the Monk DeSoto Ferrari really helped me with that. I'm thankful for that book this year and discovering that. Shout out to my guy Dro for putting me on that, man. And one of the things that it's really made me consider that I'm thankful that I know this now and I'm glad that I could work on it. I really lack imagination. Like I need to get more like he talks about it in the book, how your imagination really helps you. Like I need more, I need to dig more in that bag, like the imagination. But I used to hate the Muffet Babies, Rich, when I was young. I hated that show.
Why?
I hated it. Cause bro, I didn't believe it. It's like, man, I ain't doing all this make-believe bullshit. Like I don't know. Even as a youngster, I always hated the Muffet Babies. And I correlate that to now, I have no imagination. And that's something that I need to work on because that's something that's going to make me successful in what I do. Like, it can't just be cut and dry. This is it. This is the logic of it. And this is how it's going to work. Sometimes you need imagination in order to help yourself and help what you're trying to do. And that book helped me realize that. And I know being long-winded, that's one of the things that I'm thankful for from picking up that book and learning it again. Shout out to Dro for suggesting that to me. It's one of the best things that happened to me this year. But working on my imagination, working on being more present, working on just being grateful for the places that I've been and the places that I can possibly go. Next, my family. Like I wouldn't be anywhere without my moms, my cousins. They're just the people that show genuine concern, even outside of this space, about like, nigga, what you on, what you got going on, are you good? Me being able to ask them the same things and them being able to be open and transparent with me, just like being able to have that space, man, with people that genuinely love you no matter what. Like knowing that you're not out here wilding, like everybody trying to get their shit done and get to the place they want to be, and like just having that cushion, like that's one of the best things for me, like having that and being able to lean into that more as I've gotten older. Of course, all of my friends that I have, like from you, like I said, I've already talked about it in this space, friends outside of this space. Shout out my guy Scoops and everybody that I genuinely care about, J-Hove, Big Jeff, and all of those guys. So I'm just thankful to be in a position Like, to wrap everything up, Rich, I'm thankful to be in a position that I am in, to know that there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. But I have, like, the foundation and the structure is there. All I need to do is not be a dipshit and and show genuine work ethic towards what I want to do, and I know that I could do it. Like, there's a lot of stuff that we put on our plates and the goals that we make, and it's like, do you really want to do it? Because if you do, you can figure out how to do it. You're smart enough to know that. So just go get it done. It's like there should be no excuses going into 2025. And that's one of the things I'm most thankful for too. Like, the foundation is there. It's like, how much do you want it? I could ask myself that legitly and not think that I'm being too hard on myself. Like, here are the things that you want. Here's the blueprint for it. Here's the research. Here are the people that can help you. How much do you want? How much are you willing to benefit off the relationships that you built throughout these 40 some odd years that you've been living? So I'm thankful to be in that position.
Extremely well said. As we wrap this up, two things came to mind. I got to give a shout out to my brother D Hall, man. Donovan Hall. Known him since 4th grade, elementary school, man. My dog. Cowboys fan, fellow sufferer with you. But the reason I want to shout out D Hall is, man, Donovan is one of those people. I'll get a text, man. I'm a part of 6 different podcasts right now. Like, actively, probably 4. You know, it's 2 more that's kind of on breaks or whatever. Donovan will reach out to me with a text, man. Hey, great episode, man. I really enjoyed this part, blah, blah, blah. And it's genuine. It's never like I'm trying to get a shout out. It's never anything like that. It's just like you are somebody who is in a space, and I enjoy listening to you, and I'm going to listen to you as my friend, or even if you weren't my friend, I'll probably listen to you, and I'm gonna give you feedback. And it's just good to know, because when you are a creator, sometimes the most of the feedback you get are from strangers.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You know what I mean? You do get stuff from people, but a lot of people, they ain't, and I'm not a believer that you should put that on people either. Like, not everybody listens to podcasts. Like, I've told the story about my homegirl Jade. I was like, listen, I don't listen to podcasts. So as you get on YouTube, let me know. I got you, because I watch YouTube and I don't listen to podcasts. So I don't think you should put your stuff on there, but you will find out that a lot of the supports that you think you might get from friends just isn't there. And that's perfectly fine. It's cool. Ain't nothing wrong with that at all. But it is cool to have somebody that you have known for that long, just on some genuine. I know if I get one listen, I know who it was. And that just means a lot, brother to brother. Shout out to D Hall. And lastly, I think for both of us, that I want to say, I think you would agree with this as far as being thankful for, is being able to do something with the talent that we have, like the gifts that we've been born with, and really being able to capitalize on that. I mentioned this on Gridiron Jungle this past week, man. Shout out to one of our favorite movies, Spike Bronxville. When C's dad told him, and the worst thing in the world is waste of talent.
Waste of talent.
And my mom used to tell me that all the time, man. If you don't use your gifts, God's going to take them away. And for years, trying to figure out how to take my gift of public speaking and how to take my gift of just people and being able to connect with people on all levels and make it do something that I actually think is worthwhile. You know what I mean? There's years where I thought, man, I want to be a teacher. And I'm like, man, they don't make enough. Like, all due respect. Shout out to all the teachers and everything they do.
That's crazy. That was my first major in college. Like, the connections continue to run. Like, I was an educational major, like you said. And then it was like, nah, they don't make enough. And y'all want me to go sit in with these classes and not make them. Like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, it's like all that stuff. So
that was the first thing that I wanted to be, was a teacher / coach.
Of course it was, man. Coach too. So I coach youth sports and stuff like that. So it's surprise, Spike. Right. But yeah, man, just being able to find that and kind of land in a space where it just felt natural. I talked about that on the 100th episode, and we're gonna wrap this up. But I can't explain this in a real way, but I'm gonna try. For anybody out there who's just literally just sitting down one day, had an idea, and just looked at somebody and say, you know what, let's do this. And without any kind of struggle or issue, you just started that idea. And then you look up and it's still going on. Like, you know what I mean? It just always felt natural. Everything just fit like a glove. It was never a point where I was like, I don't want to do this no more. Or, like, it just kind of started, and it was like you was meant to do that. You know what I mean? For those who have seen Good Will Hunting, there's a great analogy that Will Hunting, he's talking to his girl, and he was just talking about, one day Beethoven just looked at a piano. He just knew how to play. Like, it just made sense to him. And that's how I kind of felt with this. Like, it was able to, a perfect combination of using my gifts, using my authenticity, and creating something. And I just looked at, once I pressed record on that, I just knew how to play. I just knew how to do it. It just made sense. And it's cool to be in a space like that. And I can't wait to see the potential and everything else that can go. So all of that is incredible, man. I know I'm thankful for that. I can surely attest that you're thankful for the same thing.
No, that's all I got. Just to close it out, to comment on what you said, I don't know that I've ever really been great at anything else, but I do think I'm really good at this. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't anything that led me to think that I would be good at it, other than like what you said with Beethoven just now on the piano. Like, it was just me and AB just sitting there, and it's like, well, let's do this. Like, they do it. I know that we can do it. And then you look up, it's been 14 years, and it's just something that we do now. Mm-hmm. Like, and it's catapulted into so many other different things for me, people that I've met, opportunities that I had. And it's just from, like you said, an idea of, what if we did this and we stuck to it and we continued to work at it, and then we took everything that came from it and made that more into who we are, and where does it go from there? And it's been enjoyable. And sometimes I got to sit back and really get myself to be thankful for it, because me and Mo talked about this a lot in chapter 1. Sometimes the destination is the only thing that matters, and that shouldn't be it. Like, for a long time, for me, one of the reasons I probably wasn't as happy as I should be in this space is I'm thinking about the destination versus the journey. And what you've helped me do, what my guy Dro has helped me do, Mo, a lot of people who I've met over the last year to 2 years, when I've started doing a lot more podcasting, is helping me understand that the journey is just as important. So the thing that I would like to leave on is, I'm thankful for the journey. I'm thankful for the people that I've met on the way. I'm thankful for the people that have influenced me, that I've influenced. I'm thankful for those things, because I really wasn't appreciative of it. And it's made me better as a person to appreciate the journey more, to appreciate what I'm doing versus where I'm going.
No doubt. No doubt. That's a perfect way to end it. We appreciate all y'all, man. One thing, I guess the last thing, we are thankful for y'all. Everybody that takes time out of their week to support Another Week in the Books, to support the other platforms that we record. Can't do any of this without you. Continue to grow this family. I always say, man, if y'all are part of this, y'all are a part of the fam. Feel free to write in. Feel free to send us messages. We will include them in the show. awitb2022@gmail.com if you're looking to email us. Another Week in the Books on Instagram. Obviously, you can follow us on YouTube as well. Make sure you subscribe. You can leave your comments there. Just quick housekeeping items. Once again, make sure you set some time next Tuesday, November 26th, man. I am Spike Lou. Make sure you wish him a happy birthday. Have him celebrate another year, man. Maybe give him some ideas on what he should do to celebrate himself, and maybe make a bigger deal out of his birthday if necessary. Thanksgiving. Hopefully everybody has a Thanksgiving, enjoys your time with your family. This episode, obviously, as you're listening to it now on the 22nd, we will be off on the 29th, coming back with a new episode, chapter 13, on December 6th. We'll have a new episode released on December 6th. There might be a book 2 version of A Torn Pages. There's something that actually Maurice and myself did on Culture Garden some months ago, that is in the same vein of Another Week's in the Book conversation. I released part 2 on Culture Garden's page a while ago, but part 1 is more of this kind of a conversation. Not sure if I'm going to release it. I haven't listened to it in a while. I want to make sure it fits with the brand and what Spike and myself are building here in book 2. But if it does, we might give that as an extra bonus episode. If not, we'll keep that in the tuck. We for sure will be back December 6th. With that being said, we appreciate y'all. Enjoy the time with your family. Take some time to acknowledge what you're thankful for. Be proud of something. Let's get better next week. Y'all be cool.
Peace.